Hello. And yes, I'm back here live again. Can you believe it's another Wednesday here in beautiful May? And yes, time for another Janome Sewing Machines Facebook Live, Janome Canada Facebook Live. Let me just silence that phone because, I'm a one-man here. Make sure the computer volume is off so no one should be disturbing me. They sometimes forget I do this fabulous weekly live with you all, or at least I hope it's fabulous for you. I certainly enjoy it. Wednesday's my favorite day of the week. Yes, hello everyone. It is wonderful to see you all. My name is Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada. And yes, I'm back here live in the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page, Janome Canada Facebook page. Now, these videos also stream live to Janome Canada YouTube and Janome America YouTube. So even though Facebook is now deleting these lives after 30 days, you can always go back to YouTube to review there. Hopefully they're going to stay forever. That's my legacy to the world. So yes, it is wonderful to be here to share with you all more Janome love. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, last week I shared with you some couching options. And couching is basically a way that we would attach trims, braids, yarn, even a string of pearls to our fabric. Traditionally it was all done by hand. But of course, now we can do that on our Janome sewing machine. So last week, you can go back to review. I demonstrated the two beading feet, the narrow and wide beading feet, and also the free motion couching foot set that is for high shank machines. And we'd have lots of fun, lots of creativity there. So today I'm going to share with you a little bit more. How do we find some inspiration? So let me double check and flip my camera here. And again, I'll start turning so you don't all see my messy sewing room. I've been sewing up quite the storm. But yes, weather is doing good outside. As I always say, regardless of the weather, just stay inside and sew. Here I'm on my fabulous Skyline S7 AE Anniversary Edition, which here in Canada, it comes with this fabulous extension table. I don't know if the US, if it does as well, or in other Janomes around the world, but check with your Janome dealers. Skyline S7, wonderful, versatile machine. Lots of bells and whistles without being too much. We can do so much regardless of what our Janome machine is. So yes, couching. Again, where do we find more? Well, again, couching, all this beautiful yarn, all these, even these beads, with our beading feet, we could attach the beads, but this free motion couching foot, no, we're definitely no beads there. We don't want to use any of this thick rat tail cording or anything. It's too stiff in the middle. So on the beading feet, again, this is why Janome always provides us options. For the beading feet, I can use the pearls or this rat tail cording, no problem, because we're just going to zigzag over it. We're not going to sew through it. But for the free motion couching foot, oh, we could use some of these beautiful yarns. I especially love, oh yes, the multicolor yarns, all that beautiful texture. Think of all your, even baby quilts, some home deck projects, garments, tote bags. There's so much we could do. All these beautiful yarns and trims that, again, I'm not a knitter or crocheter like my sister, but I can get my yarn fix couching. So where are we going to find inspiration? I showed last week this beautiful, again, free motion couching where I was just moving my fabric in any direction and just with a straight stitch was able to, or a slight zigzag, was able to get this yarn couch down. It looks so beautiful. It's so soft and fuzzy. That's a cute little travel pillow I made. Pillows, again, home deck and everything. Great use of your home deck fabric, slightly, again, thicker. You could use regular quilting cotton as well, nice and sturdy. Whenever we're going to do this couching, though, we definitely want to back our fabric at some point. So when I mentioned inspiration and you say, oh, but I'm not an artist, I can't draw and do anything, never fear. You go to our Janome website, janome.com or Janome.CA, and you click the Inspire tab in Janome Canada, or you click the Create and Learn tab in Janome.com, and you hit the Projects tab, and look at this adorable little ladybug. Can you see the texture of the yarn? This was a image, either a photo or a drawing, and the fabulous Janome maker, Lilia, created this, and she just traced the image with the free motion couching foot with all that beautiful yarn to create this adorable ladybug. And she put this on a bag using the free motion couching foot set. Full instructions there on Janome.com, Janome.CA. Or how about this? Emily created this adorable candy cane. Look at that. All that beautiful texture of all that yarn. It's a big, fluffy, stuffed candy cane pillow using the couching foot, the free motion couching foot set. So again, you can go on Janome.com, Janome.CA for some great inspiration for projects. And as well, when you were on Janome.com or Janome.CA in particular, you'll see this lovely lady. Her name is Caitlin. She is one of our Janome Canada makers. And Caitlin won an award at a recent cosplay event. That's another great opportunity to use this free motion couching foot. If not in regular garments, how about cosplay? Caitlin won an award. Look at all this beautiful texture. It is all on the free motion couching foot set. It looks like embroidery, but it's all with this beautiful yarn. And there is Caitlin. It is a replicate of a dress Queen Amidala wore in the Star Wars trilogy. So isn't that a very exciting? And again, she did such a fabulous job. So I'm so proud of her. Now, where can you go? Again, you're going to go to Janome.CA in this point, and you'll hit Inspire tab. And again, projects, we hit projects, and then we go to, type in, what are you looking for? Couching. You type in the search box, and boom. Do you see Emily's cute little pillow? You could even write Mary or whatever word you would like on your sweatshirts, your garments, your tote bags, your quilts. Again, the cute little ladybug. So it's in the Create and Learn tab on Janome.com, or it's in the Inspire tab of Janome.CA to find those projects. Janome.com has all of their makers listed. Here in Janome.CA, under the Inspire tab, again, it says Janome Maker. And we'll just quickly, where's my mouse? Quickly look to find. Here are our fabulous makers. You can click on each of them. And here is Caitlin. She has a custom sewing business called All Bodies Custom Lingerie. So you can read more about Caitlin. And so that's on Janome.CA. You can read more about this gorgeous Queen Amidala dress on our Janome Life blog. You will find tons of inspirational projects and tips and tricks on everything, as well as how she created that outfit. She wrote 3 blogs about it. I love the blogs, and I'm so proud of her for winning that award. I thought that was adorable. So what are we using? The free motion couching foot set for high shank machines. Now, when you drop your presser foot, you will measure up from the needle plate up to this screw that attaches your regular presser foot holder. If it's 1 inch to 1.25 inches, it's high shank. If it's 1/2 inch, it's low shank. So free motion couching foot set is only available for high shank sewing machines, 9 and 7 millimeters. It's a hopping foot, similar to our PDH darning foot. And this little bar goes over the needle clamp screw. So we make sure we take off the regular presser foot holder. We put that little bar over that needle clamp screw. That's what's going to activate the foot to hop up and down. We give this screw a really good turn with our screwdriver. And you know, from your fabulous Janome dealer, in a separate blister pack, you can get this bigger screwdriver as well, and that'll give you like a little more torque. So you can really get in and tighten that very tight. The free motion couching foot set here, full instructions in the blister pack. You'll see it has two different feet. Feet one or foot one and foot two. So foot two is slightly smaller. There's an opening here with a little slit that will click our yarn into place. Foot number one that I have on my free motion couching foot here is slightly bigger. So I always suggest you take these feet to the craft store with you. You purchase your foot from your fabulous Janome dealer, and then you take these to the craft store to make sure that your yarn will fit through. Now, full instructions here within the blister pack. Make sure that you open the cardboard from left to right. Full instructions. Most importantly, the zigzag stitch can only be 1.5 millimeters or less. Ask me how I know that's important. So definitely pay attention to the instructions in the blister pack. Now, to quickly set up our machine, we're going to drop the feed dogs. And here on our Skyline machines, it's just to the side, as it is with most machines. And you'll see on my LCD screen, there's normal. There's with my feed dogs up, and now the feed dogs down. It recommends I use the PDH darning foot, which is the hopping foot, but here my free motion couching foot works similarly. Now you'll notice I have no stitch length indicator here. When we drop the feed dogs, we're the stitch regulator. So how long our stitches are, that's controlled by the movements of our hand. The width here, this is very important. We're going to select the M is middle needle position, whereas the R is right needle position. So I'm going to use M. And again, the default is 3.0, but remember the caution in our blister pack, 1.5 width or less for my zigzag stitch. Believe me, ask me how I know. That's important. That's a mistake you'll make once. Best way to learn, but to avoid the mistakes, do as the instructions say. So yes, that's all we need to do to set up our machine. Now I have my zigzag needle plate on, since I am going to do a little zigzag, and then yarn, again, all that beautiful yarn. You, again, experiment. I like wrapping the yarn from the skein instead of having the big skein here. I wrap it on the leftover spools. Since I empty so much thread by sewing all the time, I just twist my yarn here on the spool and it just comes off very easily. In fact, lately what I've been doing is, I put the yarn here on the Janome tape stand. So this way I wrap the yarn around a empty spool of thread, and then I take this, and you see it just comes off like so beautifully. So we want to make sure the yarn does not have any tension on it. We keep it kind of slack. We don't want too much slack, but we keep it with nice slack. The tighter the yarn, the less it's going to couch easily, because the secret behind this foot is the yarn stays directly under the needle. So according to the blister pack instructions, again, we take our yarn, and just with my tweezers here, I just kind of punch it through. There's a little groove in the free motion couching foot. You see there the foot holder, there's a little groove that will just fit this yarn. And then again, it just clicks in this little groove in the foot. So this is where I say, take this to your craft store to make sure the yarn fits easily. And again, I'm going to make sure this just rolls off the spool again very easily, so we get some slack. Now, inspiration, again, I'm not an artist. Don't worry about it. Again, Caitlin shows you how she created this gorgeous pattern that she followed. But boom, how about let your fabric be your guide? In this pillow, again, this I just did entirely on my own. This, it was the fabric. The fabric said, this is how you could do all this free motion couching. Isn't that adorable? So here is some samples. You decide how much. Is it just going to go around again, this like teardrop shape, this big like almondy shape? Or I could go here in the middle and do whatever. This is such a fun, freeing technique. Now the machine tells us to drop the foot, yes. And we can do a couple of stitches and boom. Now, again, we are the stitch regulator. And I find generally when I'm doing this free motion couching, I don't need to sew as fast as I normally do. This is very, I find, quite relaxing and very fun. Now, if you normally wear your gardening gloves or you've got your special quilting gloves with the little grippy fingers, this is a great time to use them to help you move your fabric. So once I get up here to where I started, again, where do I want to go from here? Well, I want to do this inner ring. And again, we want to make sure that our yarn does not pull tight. It won't couch as easily, but don't worry if you don't end up catching your yarn. I'll show you how easy it is to repair. But again, isn't this beautiful? This textury yarn is so fun. So maybe now you want to decide, oh, I just want to go in here free motion wise and do like a little curl. And then I bring myself out of it. Now we do have to be careful, especially with these more textured yarn, that we don't go over the yarn too much. Because again, this is a hopping foot. So if we build up, too much of the yarn, it may have a difficulty hopping over. So we just let the fabric, I'll just come over here as a traveling point. Again, you can sew a little faster. Now, let's say I move my fabric a little too fast. My yarn pulls a little too much. Oh, you see it even here. It happened a little bit here. I pulled my yarn a little too tight. Never fear. When I'm done all my couching, I could either go over this with the yarn or I say, no, I'm done all my couching with my yarn. Fine. I raise my foot and I can just trim my yarn. I'm not going to cut my thread. I'm just trimming my yarn. And then I can help just poke it out of that little jaw of the foot. And basically all I'm going to do is just go over this where I cut my yarn. So that's going to secure the ends. And now I can just go over this part, help smooth it back where you want it to be. And I'm just going with my thread. And then there, that's all I needed to repair. Now I am using white thread, but I could use red thread and you wouldn't even see it based on this fuzzy yarn. So again, I went over it to repair it. Can you tell? Can you tell where I repaired it? No, you will never know. On the back side, you see again that little zigzag. It's not quite a distinct zigzag as we're traditionally used. It's just like a little loose zigzag. But isn't that cool? So there, I just decided to use a little free motion, but I just followed the lines of my pattern of my fabric. Like it's that simple. Now, this sample I was working on last week. And again, I was using the stripes of my fabric here to dictate, oh, I'm going to use my decorative stitches. And this is where I love the experimenting with this yarn. This is this beautiful designer yarn. Now, again, for our beading foot, no problem. This worked wonderful because with the beading feet, we're going to do the zigzag that's left or right to left over our yarn. The free motion couching foot set, the yarn is directly under the needle. So we're going to stitch through the yarn. Therefore, this yarn with this little extra eyelet-y yarn that's wrapped around it, this will not work well in the free motion couching foot set. But with these yarns, a lot of the times, can you separate? Look at that. I love this. This is where, oh, my creativity, this is what keeps me up all night. There, I could use this trim all on its own as I did here. Now, again, this I attached with the beading foot, not the free motion couching foot. And then boom, this yarn, now I could use this in the free motion couching foot, or I could use this in the beading foot as well. So it works so well. Some of these yarns, you can pull the strands. Maybe 3 strands of yarn is too thick, but 2 strands of yarn would look beautiful. So again, the stripes of your fabric, that's all I could use, the free motion couching foot set or the beading foot to help get your yarn in place here with your straight lines. Again, I'm just letting the fabric dictate. This I thought was very fun. This ruler quilting I did on my embroidery machine. How about we follow this line, this curvy line, with our free motion couching foot set, and I could add, oh, maybe even, yes, this big fuzzy yarn. Imagine this on the edge of your quilt or in your quilt block, or this could be a tote bag that you're going to embellish, or how about a pillow? And wouldn't that be fun? Like, this is so soft and fuzzy. The kids would love to cuddle up with that. Or a few years ago, I did some decorating during the COVID pandemic. I did some decorating for our Janome Sewing and Learning Center here in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. I purchased table runners that, again, I can get very inexpensively at the discount store. But I wanted to zhuzh them up. I wanted to make them something special, something personalized. So these are, think of this as a great gift. This is a purchase table runner. You didn't have to construct it. It's already got the backing, and there's probably a layer of interfacing in this to stabilize it. If not, again, if we're doing this on our own, we could put, again, some batting in between, maybe a layer of stabilizer, maybe a couple layers of stabilizer. Again, when we need to support the extra stitching and the yarn when we're doing this free motion couching. So you do have to back your fabric somehow, either with batting, stabilizer. Again, in this case, I've got the beautiful finish on the back. So I probably don't need additional stabilizers. But I'm just going to follow this pattern. This is fine on its own, but again, I want to personalize this. Maybe I'm going to give this as a gift, or I want to tie it in more to my decor, so I could introduce a new color to this by using that free motion couching. And again, a few years ago in Oakville, you can go back to our Janome Canada Facebook presentations back from 2020. I think that was December of 2020. We ended up having our Christmas dinner inside at the office. And so I redecorated the whole place using all of these very fun, inexpensive items to personalize. That's why a lot of us sew. So when I do this and I put my yarn in place, before I do something, I'm going to suggest, since we're doing free motion, you may find you get better results on the backside in particular by using this free motion blue dot bobbin holder. So this is available for most of our machines. Again, there's a little blue dot there. This has 8 grams of tension. So that means we don't have to adjust our needle tension. We can lower the bobbin tension, so we're not going to get those top threads pulled to the backside. So very simple and easy to do. I just do one touch needle plate removal here on my Skyline machines. So by using this low tension blue dot bobbin holder, I like to, again, align the arrows, make sure it's locked into place. By using that low tension blue dot bobbin holder, that means, again, it's 8 grams of tension. So there's less tension on the bobbin thread. So it's not going to pull the needle threads to the back. We're going to reduce that eyelashing and that bird's nesting that can happen sometimes when we're doing free motion quilting, particularly if we move our hands too fast, then that's what we get, that bird's nesting and eyelashing. So I love switching to the blue dot bobbin holder for free motion quilting and ruler quilting, and also with this free motion couching. particularly when we're going to see the backside. On my other previous sample, I'm going to line that. Nobody will see the back, so I don't really care. But here, people are going to see the back, so I do want it to look nice. So again, I'm just going to let my, I'm tethered. I'm just going to let my fabric, I'm just going to start here on the edge. I'm going to let my fabric dictate where I am sewing, where I'm moving. And make sure this is all under in place. Yes, away we go. And as usual, my time is running like crazy. So you decide, because of this fuzzy yarn, I'm going to completely cover, me personally, I'm going to completely cover this printed pattern. Maybe you want to share some of that, show some of that printed pattern. I'm not really enamored with it. I rather see my beautiful textured yarn. And again, make sure that it doesn't pull tight. So we just want to slide it off so it works really, really well. Ooh, make sure it doesn't wrap around. There we go. So again, you decide how much you want to show of your printed image on your fabric. And again, if you find, oh, you didn't catch quite well enough, it's pulling a little too tight, no problem. You just go back and fill it in again, or again, you wait until you're done all your yarn couching, and then you go back. I can travel along here. It is so fast, so freeing. Again, oh, I took that curve a little too much. But again, no problem. Normally, again, I spend a little bit more time doing this. I find it actually very relaxing, very therapeutic. I'm hurrying because, of course, this is live. But then this is the cool thing, again, with this free motion couching. And you decide, are you going to follow your fabric, the print in your fabric exactly? Or here, I have no print, but I need a traveling point. Well, no problem. I'm just going to travel along the edge of my table runner here. And then I can go up this stem. And then maybe I'm just going to travel along and go up this stem. And then also you decide, again, you're in complete creative control. This is what I love. We're using this pattern as our springboard, basically. But what if you decide, oh, up here looks a little bare, or you really get into it, go right ahead and say, oh, I just want to add a little curly cue, a little flourish, a little something of your own. It's your fabric, it's your machine. You decide whatever you want to do. Now, don't worry about, I will just cut this and move to another spot. But again, isn't that gorgeous? Like, isn't that so cool? You just decide to go over it. And because of this fuzzy texture, like you really don't see much of that print. Now, even with that low tension blue dot bobbin holder, do you see I do have a little bit of eyelashing. My top thread still came through to the back side, even with that lower tension of my blue dot bobbin holder. So again, no problem. We go into our machine. Many of them have, I'll use my stylist. Many of them have an adjust key. And then again, our default tension is set to 3.0 in this case. I want to increase the needle tension because, again, my bobbin tension is pulling my needle to the top. I now need to pull that top tension up, so it's going to pull that bobbin thread a little more. So I'm going to, again, experiment. This is why we must experiment. I'll go up to, I'll even try 6.0. See what that looks like. Close that, and away we go. And again, you just experiment. And it is so fun. So I will just arbitrarily jump to this spot and start going again. And we'll see how that looks like as far as tension goes. Now, again, as I mentioned, maybe if you're a free motion quilter, you've already got your gloves, or you see at your Janome dealer what kind of gloves with the little grippy dots that they have on the fingertips to help you move your fabric. And if you have, your fabric here in the bed of the machine, well, no problem. Maybe you'll just roll it up to help move it a little easier. And again, you make sure that your yarn doesn't pull tight. But I want a demo in this case. Let's say I'm coming to the end of my, oh, and I've got my extra thread here. There we go. Let's say you're coming to the end of your yarn. No need to panic. And you think, oh no, I'm running out of yarn. It's okay. I go over it just to secure it. And then I take my next little bit of yarn, and where are my tweezers? Again, you can literally just pick up right where you left off. So here I'm going to poke in, again, oops, try to poke this in quickly. Again, you won't have the pressure of live. Trying to poke this in so I can grab, there we go. So I can grab it. And then again, this just clicks right into that foot, boom. Again, this is such a freeing technique. So I left off about here, great. I'm just gonna start right up and go this way. Now I can get rid of this little tail that I just created, get rid of that stray thread that followed me. You want to make sure that you don't have any extra thread or anything up and around your yarn. So there, I cut where I started my yarn, and again, I can just go over it. That'll secure it. Do my little flower. Again, maybe you decide, oh, I want to do an extra big petal here. Make sure, again, that yarn doesn't pull. So this is why, again, it's slow. And again, oh no, I didn't catch that. Well, no problem. I can go over it again and get more buildup of yarn to secure it. Or again, if ever you have a spot where it pulls tight and you didn't couch it down, you can just trim the yarn and then you just sew right over it. Now, be careful as well. If you end up with a slub in your yarn, there are times this is just curling back on itself as it gets to the end. Sometimes you'll find your yarn is actually tied. You don't see it at the time, but they actually just tie one strand to another. Not a problem. Cut it off, finish your row, just as I demoed, and then cut that slub out, and then you pick it up just where you left off. And it's so forgiving. So again, you let your fabric be your inspiration, or again, you've got lots of inspiration on our Janome Life blog, our Janome Canada website, Janome America website. You see it now there. I see a little bit of my little print showing through. Well, that's fine. That's cute, actually. But there, I just customized, made this better, and oh yes, my stitching looks way better there. You see some of those eyelashes? There, boom, gone. So even with sometimes, now there I went a little too fast as well. So I think that's also why I got some eyelashing. But again, when you switch to that blue dot bobbin holder, that 8-gram bobbin holder, that usually eliminates the need for adjusting your top needle tension. But sometimes it really depends on your project, your fabric, your stabilizers, everything. Sometimes you need to increase your needle tension just a little. And again, I showed you how. It's so simple, so easy. Consult your instruction manual. So there, as usual, in a whirlwind is more about our fabulous free motion couching foot set, and specifically where to find inspiration for our couching. Again, our Janome.com, Janome.CA, Janome Life blog, or just even your fabric, that's your inspiration. No need to be an artist and worried about that you can't draw. That's totally fine. There's always a way for creativity. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today. I hope you'll join me next week. We've been doing all this free motion couching on our sewing machine. And again, with the beading feet on our sewing machines, did you ever imagine you could couch yarn with your serger, attach beads with your serger? Well, yes, join me next week and I'll show you how. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day.